I'm here with my roommates, and we just got the news that the winter term is going to be online, which is really upsetting, especially in our 4th year. I can't help but feel very conflicted with emotions. I'm trying to fuel those emotions into determination though, because if theater is going to be pushed back even more, that means that Zoom theater may be ever so prevalent, and so it's just really important to log what we're doing right now and keep that structure updated for people who may do that in the future, such as second semester. We're about to start rehearsal in just 10 minutes. I have my coffee and my cute mug. So we actually got an updated script because the show was going to be too long. So this is our first rehearsal using the updated script. He canceled rehearsal on Thursday to give us an opportunity to look over the script and adjust to it on our own time. Let's see how this new script works out. I'm gonna grab a hair elastic, and rehearsal now starts in 6 minutes. Okay, so we just finished rehearsal and we did a ton today. Usually we take a half hour for a warm-up, and Molly, our associate director, will lead us through that. But this time we took an hour for a warm-up, and I think that was for her to experiment a bit because it's so hard to find good warm-ups for a Zoom platform. Warm-ups really heighten the energy at the beginning of a rehearsal because they're so fun and they get you moving, but they also get you calm and in the right headspace. So she's putting a lot of work into these warm-ups, which is amazing in the first place. And then to see her using such creativity and implementing some pretty awesome things that make warm-ups a lot more fun. It's cool. So we had a good start to our day, which is always really nice. We had a conversation about energy and what we can do ourselves when we feel our energy depleting, because that happens a lot more quickly when you're working through a screen. And then he made those specific to our characters. If Galactia was stuck in isolation, what would she do to recharge herself? It's nice to know that I have an opportunity to give myself a boost whenever I need it, so I can pause in the middle of rehearsal and say, hey, can I take like 15-20 seconds to do Galactia's recharge and then move on with the scene. I wrote down creating the subtext and sarcastic tones. Oh, so what I mean by that is how you say the line doesn't always end up being how it was written by the playwright. So they could have a line that was intended to be very serious, and we could take it in a different tone and make it very sarcastic. Personally, I find it comes out more when you develop your intention and then you can set your tactics. We also did a whole bunch of displaying versus displacing today. There's one scene in particular in the play that exhibits a lot of racialization. So displaying would essentially be doing it exactly how it was written and justifying it by saying, well, it's just what's in the script. Whereas displacing says, let's take what was written, not shove it under the rug by deleting the text, not displaying it, so that we're acknowledging the racist remarks, bringing attention to them, and giving off the awareness that this is something that should not be done, this is something that should not be said. So we just finished our Sunday rehearsal, and instead of actually rehearsing scenes today, we had a wonderful choreographer who's going to be working on the show with us come in today. His name is Trevor. I've previously worked with him and he is amazing, so I was super excited when I heard that he'd be doing this project with us. He's really developmental in the way that he likes us to devise our own movements, and he works very collaboratively. We played a lot with lighting, we played a lot with Zoom visuals. It's surprising to me how many creative things we found throughout the day. It was really cool though. I definitely found it difficult in the beginning, especially just because it's such a change from working in studio to working over a screen. And I was surprised how much we didn't really get on our feet. He was definitely getting us to use what we had right in front of us rather than doing something we would do in studio. So things do almost completely change when you're on a different platform. He also reminded us at the end that this is a learning process for everyone. David's never directed a Zoom theater before. None of us have ever been a part of a Zoom theater before. And so we're literally jumping in the deep end. And it's about having that willingness as an artist to say, I'm gonna take that risk and I wanna do this. So we just finished rehearsal. So one of the scenes that we worked tonight has a lot of strong interjections in it where we cut each other off, and that's obviously really hard to do over Zoom, and it lags sometimes and people's internet connection isn't always the best, so we're trying to rework ways that we can make those work for the sake of the rehearsal process. Scenes that are quick paced and full of interjections like that are often compared to a tennis rally, and so finding that tennis rally over Zoom is quite difficult sometimes, but being able to do it will be very beneficial in the long run. So working on that is extremely important. You might know that I'm a little more brightly lit today. I decided to move my lamp in front of me so people could actually see my face on the Zoom call. I think everyone who works in a theater knows that Sometimes there are just these days when you walk into rehearsal and it's like, you can tell it's gonna be a good day. And so logging onto that Zoom call today, it was like you could tell it was gonna be a good rehearsal. So of course we're going to encounter more challenges, but as for today, I think we're having a really good day, and I'm really proud of everyone for the work that they're putting into it and for the attitude that they're putting forward. It's a pretty amazing thing to see no one falling into this pessimistic way of viewing the process. So we just finished rehearsal and it was honestly lovely tonight. We did so much character work. A lot of emotion was placed on the table, a lot of ideas, a lot of contrast was there. Each character goes through a story, a journey, but it all piles up to make the play exactly what it is. The play wouldn't be itself without one of the characters. Something that David said tonight that I really enjoyed was, we made a lot of beauty tonight. And then he goes on to say, I could have said that we made a lot of progress tonight, but it's beauty. Artwork is beautiful and creation is beautiful, so let's call it what it is. It surprises me in the best way possible every time I go onto a Zoom rehearsal, and even through the screen, people are so open to discoveries and explorations. To see the growth that happens over Zoom is crazy. It's not something that I'd ever thought I'd see, but it's something that's happening. It's very surreal. Okay, so today is possibly the most exciting day I've had this semester. I'm about to go into Maryland because I have a fitting. They have some very strict protocols in place, so I go in exactly at 2 p.m., which is the time of my fitting, and I have to enter through the front of the building, and I haven't been here in so long, this is insane. So I have 15 minutes before my fitting at 2. I'm secretly hoping that I'll bump into one of my professors, because I think that would be awesome. So this is it, wow. So yeah, I guess I should say that the Maryland is the arts campus for Brock. This is part of it. It's really beautiful. I miss it so much. I can't wait to go inside. This is crazy. I'm just so happy to be here. I'm meeting with Roberta, who is head of wardrobe, and Kelly, who's the costume designer. And Julian might also be there, who's the costume assistant. So they're all really great. I can't wait to see them. Roberta, every time I go into the costume shop, Roberta always makes me tea. And I know that she's not going to be able to make me tea this time, which is really sad. So I should have bought her tea. Dang it. Okay, so I just finished my fitting. It was definitely the highlight of my week. Roberta, Kelly, and Julian were there, and Wyatt was also there, who's assisting with set and other stuff in production. It was so bittersweet going because I love the Maryland. It's one of my favorite places in the world because first off, it's just so beautiful in general. There's like the most positive, bubbly people there. It's amazing. I'll never not enjoy being in that building. But to gone and have only seen 5 people, the other person being a security guard, it was nuts. So I'm editing and I'm in my pajamas because they're cozy. So the content that I have in this vlog is from a bit ago, not too long ago, but we opened in less than a week and my fitting was definitely more than a week ago. So maybe that'll put it a bit in perspective, but regardless, it's kind of crazy to me to be able to look back at videos that I took 2 weeks or more ago and be able to see the change. The example that I used, the tennis rally match, from where it was at that time to where it is now is nuts to me. It was just a bunch of bones back then. We had the most minuscule skeleton, and now we have an actual production. That scene is actually legit and it's going well, and the tennis rally is fueled and it's happening, and we're making it work through all the technology, because at this point in the process we're in the middle of Q to Q and we've advanced all the technology. So by the time the next couple of vlogs come out, we'll be running the show. Maybe 2 or 3 from now we'll be finished the show and I'll be in reflection process, but still be using footage from the rehearsal process to be able to let people in on kind of the secrets behind the show, because there is some stuff that I'm not able to reveal yet, but will be very cool to discuss once the show is actually over. And on top of that, I believe the day this vlog is coming out, we open tomorrow. So happy Thursday, we open tomorrow. So a lot more developments and information are gonna come up in those vlogs. So make sure to stay tuned. Of course, more challenges and more interesting things, and secrets will be exposed once the show is over, as we'll be able to talk about things freely and ideas freely without implementing any spoilers into these vlogs and such. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me throughout this vlog, and I will see you next time.